Hello and welcome to Grace, Gratitude, and Generosity, the video ministry of Robbinsdale Parkway United Church of Christ. We are so glad you are here, that you're here in this place. And if you love experiencing the wisdom and care of these videos, just like and subscribe. One of the invitations I received recently was to enter an enchanted wander. An enchanted wander out in the world where you find a threshold somewhere in a semi-wild or wild place, somewhere outside, where you can feel and experience the more than human world. However that presents itself. And it could be in a backyard, it could be in the confines of where you live. If your mind can take you to a memory, a feeling, an experience of a semi or wild place. And you cross in through that threshold, that gateway that allows you to really experience what the world, what the universe, what love has in store for you. And as you move through that threshold, this is where the change happens. It's just like I believe that when we walk through the front doors of a place of worship, a sanctuary, a mosque, a temple, a synagogue, we are changed just by walking over the threshold. We move into that place of finding healing for our own selves, for our own soul, or we come into that place of really being present for others to show that radical hospitality and welcome. That threshold experience is so vital to experience this wander. This experience of knowing that you're in the right place at the right time because you've walked through that threshold, that veil that separates us somehow from the norm, the regular world, and takes us into a place where our hearts are open, our minds are open, and we are free to experience the divine, sacred experiences of life. I love thresholds, doorways, conversations that happen in this liminal space. So part of this wander after you go through that threshold was to move into what I think is so all about grace, gratitude, and generosity, is to take on an enchanted wander and to find that place in your life where you are just enchanted by the mystery of all that is. Enchanted by the beauty of everything around you, the awe of the world. And you're filled up with this enchantment of all that can be and is and all the possibilities. And so I went to this semi-wild place on my enchanted walk. And I walked through, and as I approached the threshold, this automatic thing happened where the doorways opened all by themselves. I didn't have to push or pull anything. Just my very presence opened up this new way of being in the world. And I was taking on this sense of awe. And there was a little space between, and then another entryway opened. So it was like a double threshold to experience this beauty. And as I walked in, there was just this amazing wild place. And right in front of me was the smells of fresh green stalks, the corn that had just been delivered and opened up for people to experience this beauty. And the whole place smelled of the earth. And in front there were berries and tomatoes and zucchinis and squash of all kinds of shapes and sizes. And there were peppers and every vegetable you could imagine, every fruit that was grown under the sun and with the rain was right there in front of me, and I was enchanted by all of it. And it may have looked strange to all of the people around me, but I started smelling all of the vegetables and fruits that were there. It's amazing what life was present and how all of this goodness was going to feed and nourish and care for other people. I was so enthralled and enchanted by this moment. And around these bins and tables of food, there were children and elders and those who cared for them. And they were all trying to find the right, beautiful apple. They were testing out the weight of the different bags of oranges. They were trying to find the place where the mushrooms were. And throughout their plastic, still they were trying to smell the good earth experience of the mushroom. It was powerful to be in this produce section, this wild place where the enchantment was just inviting us to be part of this incredible whole experience. And it took me back to the food desert that I came from in Pine Ridge, where children go through life without ever experiencing the abundance of a produce section, the abundance of choices and opportunities to see all of the different bananas and plantains, all of the different ways that berries present themselves to the world. It's so limited in those food deserts. And why we experience this judgment to people who are making decisions the best they can when we've never given the opportunity to experience the wonder and the enchantment that is the produce section. And all of the beings that are there and all of the life that is presented. So I encourage you in your soul work to take an enchanted walk, to go through a threshold where your life is changed and open to the possibility of something new. And just take in all of the beauty around you. Enchant yourself with the mystery of creation and people and colors and stories. And may all of this move us closer into finding healing for our own souls.